As a football fan, it's easy to be, a bit jealous of other sports. In recent years, tennis has introduced Hawkeye. Rugby has brought in the television match official. Cricket has added a decision review system. And honestly, countless other sports mostly seem to have tangibly improved by bringing technology into their officiating process. And yet, since VAR was widely rolled out in football at the 2018 World Cup, there's been a never-ending list of controversies and complaints. So why exactly is VAR so much worse in football than it is in other sports? The problem with VAR splits into 4 issues. The first is that it's too slow. Where sports like cricket and tennis have natural interruptions, after the bowling of a ball or the end of a point, for example, a football match could hypothetically go on without interruption for 45 minutes. The retrospective nature of VAR means that matches will always be slowed down anytime it's used. And because of football's continuous nature, stoppages are felt perhaps more keenly than they are in other sports. But there have been attempts made to speed things up. Semi-automated offside technology and goal line technology follow the examples of tennis and cricket with their automated line calls and real-time checks on no balls. But it isn't perfect. And there are times when manual intervention is still needed. For example, semi-automated offside technology could determine that a player is offside, but an on-field review may still be needed to determine if a player was actually interfering with play. This would be the same issue if football used NFL's shoulder pad chip location data. Other sports have gone even further to increase the speed of their decision-making. In the NHL, for example, all referees now wear smartwatches that offer real-time information on game clock countdowns, penalty clock countdowns, and they even show the jersey numbers of players in the penalty box. This kind of thing could help identify infringement in a packed penalty box at a corner, but honestly, it's debatable as to whether it would actually save much time. Now, the second criticism is that VAR is used too often, and this problem is complicated by an even deeper problem. VAR is only supposed to be used in the event of a clear and obvious error, but it's not always clear and obvious when that is. A workaround that other sports have used to address this is challenges. In Test cricket, for example, you are allowed 3 reviews per innings, and due to the sport's incident nature, this works quite well. But again, in a continuous sport like football, challenges would disrupt the flow of the match. Plus, running out of challenges and then suffering from an obvious missed incident at the end of a game is no one's idea of fun. And it would also come with significant execution issues. For one, who determines when a review is taken? In cricket, the batsman and the fielding captain can both be close enough to the action to make a call, but this just isn't the case in football. The coach and often the captain are likely to be too far away from review-worthy incidents for this to be realistic. Issue number 3. VAR isn't transparent enough. In rugby union, the TMO's decision-making process is audible to those watching on TV, whereas in football, fans can't hear the referee. Now, the argument against adopting this is really centered around safety. The International Football Association Board, or IFAB, has pointed out that broadcasting VAR conversations live would only serve to increase the abuse that referees receive, with every word spoken being dissected and, potentially misinterpreted. In incident-led sports, such as rugby, the focus is really on the incident itself. But because so much of what happens in football is dynamic and open to interpretation, IFAB feels that live broadcasting VAR discussions would just be chaotic and open up referees to way too much scrutiny. They also argue that this could further dissuade young people from wanting to become referees. And the fourth and final problem with VAR is the margin for error. In cricket, there is a principle called umpire's call. In LBW, or leg before wicket, decisions that are very close and where the ball's projected trajectory is in a gray area, the third umpire will defer to the on-field umpire's decision. Now, football has a similar thing where VAR looks to stick with the on-field decision where possible, but, there's a reason that it doesn't work as well. You see, it's important to contextualize that a big decision in cricket is still relatively small. A wide or no ball is 1 extra run and 1 extra ball. A wicket is 1 in 10 in an innings or 1 in 15 in an average match. Whereas in a sport as low-scoring as football, a big decision can be game-changing. And so the margin for error is significantly reduced because it's much more costly to get it wrong. So can football learn from these other sports? Well, yes, in some ways, and in others, definitely not. The continuous and simple nature of football is one of the things that's made it the world's most popular sport. It also happens to be the thing that makes it impossible to referee perfectly. And it's worth saying that for all of its flaws, the introduction of VAR has had a positive impact when it comes to decision accuracy. The Professional Game Match Officials Limited, or PGMOL, estimates that over 200 incorrect decisions are made in the English Championship each year without the help of VAR. So while technology can't fix every problem, it's definitely fixed some. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel.